The Unova region, a bustling landscape where human and Pokémon live side by side in its wide variety of environments. Unova has no shortage of awesome sights to behold if one were to ever visit, from humble towns to its largest cities. Theme parks, sports, musicals, movies, and some of the most dangerous gym puzzles that you'll ever see in any region. Ouch! So, if the general attractions aren't your thing, there's always the natural majesty of Unova's environments and history. From the magnetic Chargestone Cave to the twisting turns of Pinwheel Forest to the mysterious ruins of the Desert Resort. No matter where you choose to go, you'll find yourself in total awe as you travel across this vast Are you kidding me?! And for today's moveset, we'll be talking about the chosen hero of this region. A trainer who worked hard to keep the relationship between people and Pokémon of Unova thriving, and was even accepted by the legendary dragon who shaped its truths and ideals. And, just like before, the Pokémon that I've given this trainer were chosen by you, the audience, based on majority vote. The first is the grass snake Pokémon Snivy. Then the discipline Pokémon Dewott. And finally, there's the Mega Fire Pig Pokémon Emboar. In terms of how these Pokémon attributes function, they're actually pretty straightforward. Fairly black and white, you could say. Snivy is the most petite of the three, being the lightest and the weakest, but its agility is not to be trifled with. It's incredibly fast, has amazing frame data, and it's also fantastic at slipping past oncoming attacks like a true snake. Even though it isn't a true snake yet. I see those limbs! You're no snake, just a skink. Anyways, Dewott, being the budding samurai, is the most balanced of the lot, being a decent mid-weight character, but it does have quite a few tricks up its sleeves thanks to its rigorous training. In short, it's stronger than Snivy and faster than Emboar, which isn't saying too much since Emboar's greatest weakness is its speed, being rather sluggish and lacking frame data. But it more than makes up for that with its raw power and absurd weight. Talk about the perfect holiday ham. This guy is thick. All three of them have 2 jumps. Snivy has access to all 3 movement options, being able to wall jump, wall cling, and crawl. Dewott is only able to wall jump, and Emboar has no additional movement options. In terms of how they fight, Snivy likes to take advantage of its slender body for some deceptive yet graceful long-ranged attacks, and having natural access to vine appendages doesn't hurt either. Dewott actually comes into fights armed with its trusty dual Scal Chops, fan-shaped scallop shells that these otter Pokemon rely on with their life. In fact, based on how Dewott specifically uses its Scal Chops, there's a good chance that it uses them for Tessen Jutsu, a Japanese-style martial art that predominantly uses war fans. So that'll be the inspiration behind Dewott's attacks here. Emboar's origins seem to have Chinese roots, specifically from the story A Journey to the West. So as such, I'm basing Emboar's moves appropriately off of the berserker style of Wild Boar Kung Fu, which mostly involves incredibly powerful hand-to-hand combat, grappling, and overall being incredibly aggressive. With all of that said, starting with their jabs, Snivy will have a 3-hit jab that mimics its 3-hit combo from the game Poké Park 2, Wonders Beyond. It starts with a Vine Whip forwards, then a second Vine Whip from its other Vine, then it ends the jab with a quick spinning tail swipe. Dewott will also have a 3-hit jab, starting with it swinging one of its Scal Chops forwards horizontally to use the attack Razor Shell, a move that you'll be seeing it use a lot in this moveset. Then it does a quick roundhouse kick for the second jab, then ends the combo by stabbing its other Scal Chop straight forwards. Emboar could have a 2-hit jab, one that also originates from Poké Park 2. Starting with a straight punch, then ends with an uppercut with its other arm. For the dash attacks, Snivy can do a leaping tackle attack with its head at the front of the move. Dewott can leap forwards while holding both of its Scal Chops forwards like a charging shield. This is a move that can actually neutralize projectiles and can easily negate other attacks if they clang. Emboar's dash attack can be a powerful charging shoulder tackle, except it'll use the flames from its beard to really heat this move up, making it that much more deadly. For side tilts, Snivy's can come from one of its attack animations from the main 3D Pokémon games, having it whip both of its vines forwards, a move with a great amount of disjoint to keep foes away from Snivy. Dewott can wave both of its Scalchops a few times in circles in front of itself, a common Tessenjutsu technique. It hits multiple times, and it's another attack that can neutralize projectiles. And Emboar can use a variation of the move Arm Thrust. The move simply has Emboar thrust one of its palms forwards, but if you keep pressing the attack button consecutively, it'll keep thrusting its palms over and over, alternating arms as it does so. And each time it arm thrusts, it slightly moves forwards. For the up tilts, Snivy can do a graceful backflip to swing its tail overhead from front to back. Dewott can spin one of its Scalchops over its head, a move that hits multiple times before launching. And Emboar can do a quick low-to-high uppercut. For down tilts, Snivy can slide across the ground forwards a fair distance in an almost slithering-like motion, popping foes into the air if they're in its way. Dewott can swing both of its Scalchops across the ground in front of itself one at a time, making for a 2-hit attack. The first swing only causes hit stun, so the second swing is what launches foes. And Emboar can use the move Low Sweep, doing a quick low to the ground spinning kick. Now for their side smashes, Snivy can have it do a spinning roundhouse-like jump as it swings its tail forwards. Dewott can use the attack X-Scissor, doing a cross-swipe attack forwards, just like we see it do in the 3D Pokemon games, as well as in Pokepark 2. And Emboar could use the move Takedown, charging forwards a short distance like the wild boar that it is. And just like what happens if a real boar were to ram into you, getting hit by Emboar's Takedown is devastating. But it does have a significant amount of end lag. For the up smashes, Snivy can do a jumping spin while it surrounds itself with leaves, a multi-hitting move that launches foes into upward angles. Dewott can use Razor Shell once again to swing both of its Scalchops overhead from front to back, one Scalchop at a time. And Emboar could use a move like Headbutt or Iron Head, having it swing its head from front to back. And for the down smashes, Snivy's can have it spin with its body flat to the ground as it holds its tail out. This is another move that can catch foes to deal multi-hitting damage, and since it is so close to the ground, it can easily be used to duck under higher attacks. Dewott will once again use Razor Shell, but will use a variation of it that references the attack that its pre-evolution Oshawott uses in Pokepark 2. Having Dewott throw both of its Scalchops around its body low to the ground, having them spin on opposite sides to be able to hit on both sides of Dewott at 2 points of the move. And Emboar will use another move that it had in Pokepark 2, which might be the attack Earthquake or Bulldoze, having Emboar smash the ground with both arms, causing a fiery shockwave outwards to launch foes away. Moving into the aerial moves, for Snivy's neutral air, it can spin its body in a swirl while at a slight angle, yet another attack that deals multiple hits of damage. Dewott's neutral air can have it swing both of its Scalchops on both sides of itself, except it swings its back-facing Scalchop from low to high, and the front-facing Scalchop from high to low. And Emboar will enlarge the flames of its beard to cause a quick flame burst all around itself. This is one of Emboar's quickest attacks, but it's also its weakest, making it work best as a get-off-me tool. For the forward air attacks, Snivy can do a quick diagonal flip to swing its tail forwards from low to high. Dewott can have an automatic 2-hit attack that starts with it swinging its tail forwards horizontally, then immediately follows up with a horizontal Razor Shell attack. And Emboar could use the move Hammer Arm, swinging both arms forwards from high to low, just like how it does for an animation in the 3D games. This is a move that can spike foes, but it does have a bit of end lag. Snivy's back air can have it do a quick horizontal twirl to swing its tail backwards horizontally. Dewott can swing a Scalchop behind itself diagonally from low to high, and Emboar can do a quick hip check behind itself, using its weight to knock foes away. This is one of its few quick moves that's also quite deadly, but it has lacking range compared to its other attacks. You'd think it'd have more range considering how thick this lad is, but you'd be surprised. For the up airs, Snivy can have it swing both of its vines overhead from front to back. Dewott can start with it stabbing both of its Scalchops upwards, then pulls them apart. That stab acts as a sweet spot, causing the move to deal extra damage when Dewott pulls the shells apart. And Emboar's up air can have it punch its fists together over its head. And for the down airs, Snivy can swing its tail multiple times below itself from side to side, yet another attack that can hit multiple times before launching foes. Dewott can do a quick front flip towards the Z-axis while swinging its Scalchops below itself. It requires a bit of precision, but it can spike if the move sweet spots. And Emboar could use the move Body Slam, falling straight down to drop all of its girth onto any poor sap below it. At any point during this attack, if foes are hit from above, then they're guaranteed to be spiked. However, Emboar can only stop using this move if it slams into the stage. So if it uses Body Slam with no stage below it, that's a guaranteed stock loss. For the grabs, Snivy would have the longest reaching grab where it uses its vines to ensnare foes. It could also be used as a tether. It'd pummel by headbutting its prey. Dewott would grab with both of its stubby arms, resulting in the shortest grab of the three. It'd pummel by kicking the foe, so as such, Emboar would have the average grab of the three, using one of its long arms to catch foes, and it pummels by decking them in the face. For the throws, starting with Snivy, its forward throw will have it do a swinging spin, then throw the foe forwards once it completes the turn. The back throw has it simply turn to throw the foe from its vines backwards. The up throw can have Snivy scoop the foe up with its tail, then catapult them into the air. And its down throw can have it just pick the foe up, then slam them into the ground, bouncing them into the air. Dewott's forward throw has it slash at the foe with one of its scout chops to knock them forwards. Its back throw can have it jump over the foe, then hit them with a cross slash from behind to knock them into that direction. The up throw can have it swipe at the foe's torso with one of its scout chops to send them into the air. And the down throw can have Dewott slash at the foe from high to low, bouncing the foe away. And for Emboar's throws, its forward throw can have it hit the foe with a massive headbutt that sends them forwards. The back throw has it turn and throw the foe using a single arm. The up throw can have it bear hug the foe so hard that they're squeezed out and shot into the air. And the down throw can have Emboar elbow drop the foe's skull, forcing them into the ground and bouncing them away. Overall, Snivy's throws are better for keep away, Dewott's are great for combos, and Emboar's are ideal for getting KOs. For Snivy, Dewott, and Emboar's neutral special, they'll each use moves that were first discovered in the Unova region. Snivy could use Grass Pledge. This has Snivy shoot forwards a small projectile of leaves at a downward arc, and once it hits the ground, it erupts into a whirlwind of leaves that deal multi-hitting damage to foes caught in it before sending them into the air. Dewott can use Water Pledge. It works just like Snivy's Grass Pledge, except when its small water projectile hits the ground, it erupts into a water geyser that deals no damage but has amazing launch power as it shoots foes into the air. And likewise, Emboar could use Fire Pledge. Again, it works just like the other two, except its small flare projectile erupts into a large flame geyser upon hitting the ground. This one deals the most damage of the three pledges, and it launches foes upwards on contact. These three attacks are all strong on their own. However, it's not their full extent. The pledge attacks can only bring out their true power when they're used together, being most effective in double or triple battles. In the main games, two allied Pokemon using different pledge moves on the same turn will lead to the elements combining, creating whole new effects. But for this moveset, since you can't exactly use them at the same time in this situation unless two or more players are both using the Unovan trainer, here's how they'll work. After the pledge attacks hit the ground and are activated, they'll always leave remnants of their elements on the ground in that spot where it erupted. Grass Pledge leaves a pile of leaves, Water Pledge leaves a puddle of water, and Fire Pledge leaves a small amount of flames that scorch the ground. These piles don't do anything by themselves. They disappear automatically after 15 seconds, but they will disappear sooner if you create a second pile of the same element. You can have up to one of each element remnants on the ground at any given time. So with that said, if you hit these piles with a specific other pledge attack, they'll combine to cause something completely new to happen. If you hit the pile of leaves with Fire Pledge, it causes the leaves to burst into flames, leaving a large flame pile that deals large damage to anyone who steps through it until the flame pile peters out, which takes about 10 seconds. If you hit the puddle of water with Grass Pledge, the puddle becomes swamp-like, dealing small damage to any foe who steps in it while also cutting the foe's run and jump speed by half for a few seconds. This puddle will disappear after 12 seconds, and if you hit the scorched ground with Water Pledge, it explodes into a large rainbow that deals minimal damage but causes an absurd amount of knockback to foes. It's instantaneous, so it happens, then it's gone immediately afterwards. I should also mention, players can use their pledge moves on element piles that other players might have made, and the resulting combination only belongs to the one who used the pledge move on the pile. These moves emphasize one of the most important themes of Black and White, the ability to work together and to help one another reach your goals much faster than you ever could alone, giving people much more incentive to switch between the Pokémon and to fully utilize each of their strengths to cover the other's weaknesses. Sure, you can only use one, that is an option, but just like with Pokemon Trainer Kanto and in the Pokemon games themselves, doing so will only act as a detriment. In which case, moving on to the side specials, Snivy can use the move Ring Out. A move that has Snivy pull from its nature as the fake snake that it is. This will act as a command grab special, having Snivy throw its vines forwards, and any foe hit by the vines will be caught, then have the life literally squeezed out of them. Then once the damage is dealt, they fall, simply lying down if used on the ground, and being forced to fall for a bit before being able to recover if used in the air. As for how much damage Ring Out does, it's actually dependent on how little the foe's damage was before they were grabbed. This is an attack that actually deals more damage to foes who have smaller damage percents, meaning that it's at its strongest if used on foes at 0% and only gets subsequently weaker as their damage racks up. Now for Dewott's side special, hearkening to its honor as the budding samurai, it could use the move Retaliate. This simply has Dewott charge straight forwards horizontally, then at the end of the lunge, does a powerful cross slash with both Scalp Chops. Foes in Dewott's way will be dragged along, then launched when hit by the cross slash. The move can also be used for horizontal recovery, but it will put Dewott into freefall if used in the air. But now here's the main gimmick behind this attack. Retaliate in the Pokemon games is a move that deals double damage if you use it the turn right after one of your other Pokemon fainted. So for this moveset, if you're KO'd, then respawn as Dewott, Retaliate will do triple the damage and knockback the first time it lands on a foe after respawning. You only have a 20-second window to do this though, otherwise the buff will go away. It also goes away if you switch Dewott out before landing it on a foe. And for Emboar's side special, it could use the devastating rock-type attack, Head Smash. This move has Emboar charge forwards a short distance with a fierce headbutt, dealing massive damage and knockback to all foes in its way. It can be used for horizontal recovery, and Emboar has a large amount of armor when using this attack, making it very hard to interrupt unless you're top tier at timing your grabs. That said, this devastating move is also dangerous to Emboar, dealing recoil damage to itself when it's used, and it takes even more recoil each time the move connects on a foe. Now for the up specials, Snivy can have it use the move Leaf Tornado. This has Snivy surround itself in leaves as it spins to turn itself into a small twister. Snivy does ascend if used in the air, so it can of course be used for recovery in that sense, after which it goes into freefall, but where this attack really shines is in its horizontal movement, being able to fly ridiculously far to the left or right. If used on the ground, then Snivy won't lift off, but it still has that amazing horizontal movement, and foes hit by the Leaf Tornado will be launched on contact. Dewott's up special can have it use the speedy water-type priority move, Aqua Jet. This simply has Dewott surround itself in water, then can fly into any chosen direction at an incredibly fast pace. It's not a very strong attack, dealing minimal damage and only popping foes away, but it has so little startup and next to no end lag, but only if you use it towards the ground, since it will put Dewott into freefall after using it in the air. This can allow the attack to not only be used for recovery, but as a feinting option as well, able to catch your foe off guard to throw them off balance and to let Dewott get in some quick follow-ups. And for Emboar's up special, it can have a what goes up must come down special in the form of the fire-type attack, Heat Crash. This has Emboar leap high into the air, then come crashing down with a fire-engulfed ground pound. Foes in Emboar's way as it ascends will take some damage as they're thrown into a hit stun, but the real punishment is given to foes in the way of Emboar's thickness as it comes down, taking massive damage, and it has absurdly high KO potential. The move can also spike foes hit by Emboar right as it starts to fall. But just like when it uses Body Slam, Heat Crash can only stop if it hits the stage or is cancelled at the ledge. Otherwise, Emboar's just setting itself up to become tomorrow morning's breakfast. But finally, the down special is of course the Pokémon switch. The order will be from Dewott to Snivy to Emboar, then back to Dewott. I know that order is a tad awkward, but it's done like this to help the neutral special pledge attacks remain consistent and be more effective. For the Unovan trainers, final smash! This chosen hero will call upon the power of the very dragon that deemed them as one. The dragons representing truth and ideals who used to be one being. Reshiram and Zekrom. I'll get more into this in a bit, but the dragon that appears is dependent on your costume, and they both effectively do the same thing. Upon being called out by their trainer, both dragons let out a huge, intimidating roar that stuns all nearby foes in place, and from there, they'll each use their own signature attack. Reshiram will use Fusion Flare, firing a large orb of fire straight forwards from the spot where the player activated the smash. And Zekrom will use Fusion Bolt, surrounding itself in a large orb of electricity and charges straight forwards from the spot where the smash was initiated. Regardless of which is used, any foe in the way of the large orb will take massive damage and are launched away. After which the dragon is called back to their Pokeball so that the main Pokemon may resume the fight. For the colors, the default costume where the Pokemon are in their normal colors can have the trainer be the male protagonist from Black and White 1, Hilbert. The first alternate costume can have the trainer be the female protagonist from Black White 1, Hilda. Hilda! Her Pokemon can all have pink hues. The next alt can be the male protagonist from Black and White 2, better known as Nate. Really? Nate! His Pokemon can all have black hues. Then likewise, here we have Rosa, the female protagonist from Black and White 2. Her Pokemon can all have white hues. So as such, each trainer will only have one alternate color apiece. Hilbert's alt can show him with the color scheme of one of his best friends, Sharon. The Pokemon will have blue hues for this alt. Hilda's alt will show her in the scheme of their other best friend, Bianca. The Pokemon will have green hues here. Then for Nate and Rosa, they'll each have whole new costumes, referencing two of the many costumes that they wear as actors for the Pokestar Studios. Nate will don the outfit of Riolu Boy, giving his Pokemon red hues. And Rosa will wear the Space Captain's uniform, giving her Pokemon purple hues. And before I move on, going back to the final smash, the dragon that appears depends on whichever protagonist you're using. Hilbert and Hilda get one dragon, and Nate and Rosa get the other dragon. Referencing how in Black and White 1, you get whichever dragon the Team Plasma King N didn't get, but then in Black and White 2, N ends up giving his dragon to the trainer of those games. As for who gets what dragon, that's a hard call. Some sources show that N canonically gets Reshiram, but others show him with Zekrom. It really doesn't matter, so it just boils down to a final choice. In which case, the stage intro can once again simply show the trainer already present on stage, and they call out their starting Pokemon from their Pokeball. For the taunts, all of their firsts can reference animations that they have in the 3D mainline games. Snivy can do a quick spin, then stick its nose into the air acting all smug-like. The nose part comes from its Black and White 2 sprites. Dewott can cross its arms and wiggle its whiskers. And Emboar can hype itself up as its beard flares out. Their second taunts can reference their sprite animations from the Gen 5 games. Snivy can cross its arms, then tap its foot on the ground impatiently. Dewott can grab both of its Scalchops and hold them out for a battle-ready pose. And Emboar can sumo stomp the ground while punching its fists together. And for their last taunts, Snivy can be shown posing with its tail in the air, as if it's sunbathing to photosynthesize. Dewott can tap on its Scalchops like drums to play a little tune, and Emboar can be shown scraping its foot on the ground like it's ready to charge while smoke comes out of its nostrils, referencing a generic thing that we see in media from wild boars. And finally, for their victory animations, the first can show the trainer do an excited jump and do a pose respective to each of them, like some of the many that we see in their key art or even from Masters. During this, the Pokemon could also be doing victory animations that they have in Pokepark 2. Snivy would look at the camera, then turn its nose up while putting its hand on its hip, Dewott would do a flip, then an excited jump into a pose, and Emboar would just be shown laughing, then puts its hands on its hips. For the second victory animation, this can show the trainer holding their Pokeball into the air, then holding it forwards towards the camera. Snivy would do a simple backflip, then do a graceful yet smug pose. Dewott would do some practice slashes with its Scout Chops, then sheath them to pose with its arms crossed. And Emboar would simply roar to the sky, then pose with its arms in the air. And for their final victory animation, the one where the trainer interacts with their Pokemon, this can actually have them dance together, referencing the Pokemon musicals. The Pokemon and trainer do a duet that best fits that Pokemon style, then pose afterwards. And that does it for What If Pokemon Trainer Unova was in Smash! So, if you enjoyed what you saw and would like to see even more characters be given possible Smash movesets, be sure to subscribe! And if you want to support the show and help me be able to make more content for you guys, you can click the join button either below the video or on my main page to become a sponsor from my channel. Doing so will get you access to my private Discord as well as channel emotes. You can guarantee that your name appears in my videos, or even get the option of knowing what if character is coming up next a week in advance. I really appreciate anything that can be contributed. And of course, if you have a character that you want to see be given a possible Smash moveset, leave a comment down below, or contact me on Twitter at BrawlFan1 on Twit. I hope you all enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching!